Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Visordown. My name is Toad, and today we are in the Hinckley factory with Triumph, and I'm joined by Tony, who is one of the guys from the paint shop here at Hinckley, and we are stood over a very nice looking motorcycle. So it's quite hard to see it in this light, but there is some B-roll footage that you'll probably be looking at right now. This is the new stealth edition of the Triumph Speed Twin, and Triumph have challenged me, somebody who has basically never painted anything in his life, with a spray gun or a spray can. They've challenged me to try and replicate this paint finish, so this black to red fade. Tony, you know all about this process, don't you? Yes, I hope you do, because you're going to be taking me through it.
A big part in sort of developing it and making it work.
Okay, so what are the steps to this particular, just to get this kind of the black fade to red, what are the kind of the processes, the main things that are going on here?
So yeah, to start with then we put a silver base coat down.
Okay.
A nice, chunky, gritty, sparkly silver. And as you've seen today, the second part of the process is putting the black, sapphire black over the top of it,
okay.
And followed by a red candy.
Okay. So the base colour that you're putting on there, the silver, is that really important to this final, the final look of the piece?
Like, as soon as the sunshine hits it, as soon as you get it under the lights, it's just going to pop. It's going to look fantastic. Okay.
Am I going to be able to do this? Is this mission impossible for Toad?
Absolutely not.
Right, okay. Right, without further ado, I'm going to get into some overalls, get some health and safety shizzle on. We're going to get in the spray booth, and then a little bit after that, I think we're going to have a go at some pinstriping. I've had about 4 coffees today, so that's going to be even more entertaining than my spray painting, I'm sure. And then we'll reconvene once we've got this stuff done and have another chat to Tony. All right, let's get cracking. Right, folks, so I am here, and Gary, who is, you're a bit of a master craftsman at pinstriping, aren't you, by all accounts?
So I'm always told, yes.
Right, okay, well, I'm about to have a go at pinstriping. Now, I've had 4 coffees so far today. My blood sugar's quite low, so the results of my pinstriping are going to be quite mixed and varied, I should think. So talk me through it. What's the brush that you use in there? Because that is not a normal paintbrush, is it?
No, we source these from America. They're made up of squirrel hair.
Squirrel?
Squirrel hair.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically the brush is designed so you've got short bristles at the bottom,
yep,
longer bristles at the top.
Okay. So
the shorter bristles will always be at the bottom of the brush.
Okay.
This enables you to go around tight curves. If I try to go around a curve and I don't twist the brush, what happens is it goes wider.
Yep.
These are designed so when you go around a corner and you twist the brush, thus it keeps the same size all the way around.
You made that look scarily easy.
Believe me, you're not the first person that's ever said that to me.
So how long have you been doing this?
I started at Meriden Triumph in 1976. I started this job 2 years later.
Right.
So from 1978 up to present day.
So how did you find out that you were a demon pinstriper?
I didn't. It happened by accident, really. I was doing a boring job at the original Triumph years ago, and I spent more time watching these 2 old guys doing this sort of job. I was always round the bench watching them, and I was fascinated by it. The older guy he'd been there for years. He was a genius. And unfortunately, he was old enough, he was too old and he had to retire, but I was put with him to learn this job. It took me about 2 months. I had 2 tanks, and all I was given was the premise that I'd get the job if I thought I was good enough to show him one that I'd lined. So I was doing these 2 tanks, washing them off, Then one day I took the tank to him and I said, I think that is good enough. And looking for me, he said, yes, it is. But it did take a while. And the rest is history, yeah.
Go on then, so what's the key technique to pinstriping? What do you need to do, what don't you do? I think don't drink coffee is probably top of the list, isn't it?
It's real concentration. I've probably trained about 15 people over the years here.
Okay.
And none of them are still here. They've all gone. A lot of them just give up within a few months. It's one of them jobs. If you're bored within a day of doing it, it's not for you.
Right, got you.
It's a lot of concentration. The trick is to watch where the bush is going rather than where it's already been.
Okay.
It's like riding a bike. I always say this, when you ride a bike, you don't point forward and look behind you and carry on. Because eventually you'll hit something or go off the road.
Okay.
And the same applies to this bush. I said this to Guy Martin, but it fell on deaf ears.
Right. I've heard he was pretty mediocre.
Well, yeah. That's being kind.
So do you support your right hand with your left hand as you're doing it?
No, it's basically you hold it. The reason the gloves are like this, I like to be able to feel the bush
so you got the
in
grip.
your fingers.
Yeah.
The gloves to help your fingers glide
Yeah.
and to prevent the grease in your fingers going on the tanks. If you get grease on the fingers, then you lacquer over it. Eventually,
It'll work its way through.
that'll come through into the lacquer. So that should be perfect alignment. Yeah. So it's a case of put it on, and as you pull it down, just keep the brush on and just watch where you're actually going with the brush.
Okay. Right. So that's the way around the brush
That's
goes.
the way. The little wooden piece always goes to the left. The other side hasn't got it.
Okay.
Because you'd be amazed the amount of people that try and do it upside down. It's
Which
impossible.
little wooden piece? Sorry?
The little wooden piece sticking out from the ferrule.
Oh,
if you turn
that's
it
on the
round,
right on this one.
left.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, we're in trouble already.
Oh my God. Yeah. This is harder than it looks. Yeah, that's. Oh my God, that is atrocious, isn't it? Tell me, have you seen one that bad since Guy Martin was here?
No.
Okay.
I hate being brutally honest.
Do you know what? I was all right at paint spraying. I got a fist bump for paint spraying. I got told I was all right. Maybe I'm just not bored to pinstripe.
But keep them on, because that's the one that stabilises your
Right,
fingers.
let me just have a practice over
yeah, that's
here.
fine.
I can't get my fingers in there.
Your fingers are in a completely different position.
Yeah, they are. Show me your hand again.
Same as yours.
Yeah, but I can't get my fingers flat on the tank like that. I am just not built for pinstriping. No, I can't do it. I haven't got the.
His fingers into position. So we
I haven't got
I might
the
need to
motor
break them.
control.
This one's for the camera.
How do you stop?
So,
You've
I've
been
never
in-
heard that before.
Cut the camera. Come here. Just finish that bit off, and then we'll just pretend that I did the whole thing. So it's still filming. That's it. You just touch that bit up. That's right. Beautiful. Right, now give me the brush. So there you go, guys. That's how you pinstripe a tank. Only took like 5 goes, but I managed to paint a straight line on a petrol tank. Tell you what, pinstriping, when you see somebody like this doing pinstriping, you think, God, that's easy, isn't it? And it is. I've just had a go at that, and that took about 5 attempts just to do a straight line on a petrol tank where there was already a straight line for me to follow. Yeah, it's a lot harder than it looks. A lot harder. But got a lot of respect for you guys doing that day in, day out. Thank you.
No problem.
Right, Tony, thank you for effectively letting me hold up your paint shop for what felt like all day. How frustrating was that to watch?
Not at all. Not at all. It was good fun.
Okay, so how did I do? Give me some feedback.
Surprisingly not bad. Yes.
Okay.
You put a nice coat of paint on.
Yep.
Your stealth fade was pretty good. The clear coating was good.
Okay.
And the piece de resistance for me was the red candy.
Okay.
Did a really good job of that.
Okay, so we'll see how that comes out. We've only really seen a little part of the process, like a tiny little bit, which is the cherry on top, for want of a better phrase. There's a lot more though, and I kind of imagined in a factory such as this that fuel tanks going at one end of a big machine and a load of robots go to work and then they come out the other end fully painted. That's not the case though, is it?
No, there's a lot of hand detailing going into our petrol tanks.
Yeah.
So they get a coat of EP to start with over the raw steel, then they're primered and flatted, and that's before we start putting our layers of paint on over the top.
Okay. So there's a massive sort of multi-process step to get them to where they are.
Lots, yes. There's a lot of work goes into it. It's all hand finished.
Okay.
Nothing's done with robot.
No. Cool. And you did mention something earlier. I'm going to go off piece now, so I hope you don't mind.
No problem.
You did mention that you had a bit of a hand in the development of the painting technique for the stealth model on the Speed Twin. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. So I'm very fortunate in my role where a lot of the future model paint schemes come my way to develop, research, try and put into a manufacturing process.
Yeah.
So yeah, I developed the technique, the colours, and passed it on from there really.
Congratulations, you've done a stellar job, because the paint on all of those is absolutely brilliant. Fantastic job.
Thank you.
Most of all, thanks for having the patience with me today, because I
Did a
can
brilliant
imagine
job.
that when you've been doing something for this long and then some bozo comes in and completely messes it up, it could be quite frustrating.
It's more fun. It's more fun that way. You did a really good job.
Spot on. Thank you very much for having us, folks.
worries.
Thank you very much for watching, folks. If you've liked that video, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of Visordown's latest videos. And for all the latest news, reviews and motorcycle features, get yourself over to Visordown.com.